right. Hey, while people file into the room, it's January the 15th, 2 o'clock, 2025. Already halfway through the first month. And I would say, let's see, it's a question that has no relevance to the session. I asked these yesterday, since you are both American citizens. Yesterday they were both Canadian, so I'll ask you both. Kim or Kimberly,
Mhm.
should
Kim works
Canada
good.
should Canada be the 51st state?
I think so,
All right.
but I think we should be part of Canada.
Okay, we're gonna go the other way. So it's like two states, Canada and United. All right, what
Do it.
about it, Murph? Should Canada be
Well,
number 51?
I definitely think it should be an American territory.
Yes.
Uh, and I think it'll be up to state by state to determine if it's going to be a state. That has to be ratified by a majority of all the states. So um, who knows what'll get approved? There might be a lot of people think, oh, well, that's just something else for us to have to pay for. But definitely, I think we should just consume the northern half of the hemisphere.
Well, there we go. All right. So this is all in good fun. So don't send hate mail. Don't send hate text. Don't send hate email. Don't send hate chats or hate Q&As, et cetera, et cetera. Just having the fun here. So welcome to the 2025, January 2025 edition of QB Talks, ProAdvisor Training Opportunities. My name is Gary DeHart. I am your host for this front end here. And then our presenters are William Murphy and Kim Noh of Noh Hassle Bookkeeping. Before I turn the event over to them, we do have one poll question that I want to go ahead and get out of the way on the front end. Matt, if you wouldn't mind posting that poll question, and it's on our Be Insightful program. Be Insightful is basically it's a premium content. We offer 9 training tracks with speakers. Murph is one of those, Kelly Parks, Christine Gervais, Kyle Turf, and a few others. Gives you access to about 36 CPE credit hours per year, more if you count what we're doing here, like with QBTalks and some other webinars that we do. But 36 credit hours exclusively for members, and then a variety of year-round premium content, like app comparison charts, some blue papers that Murph has put together, and just some other white papers that our other speakers typically put together around each of their topics. So we'll leave that open while I finish up the kind of the front end stuff here. So if you do want to learn more, just click yes on that poll question and we will send some information to you. This webinar is CPE eligible, and you must be here for 50 minutes, 50 minutes, and you must answer at least 3 poll questions. If you participated in this one, then you already got one down. So if you meet this criteria, we will send you your certificate within about 24 hours. And if you have any questions during the webinars, we just ask that you put them into the Q&A panel. You will receive an email following this event with a link to the archive, which will be posted to our YouTube channel. Matt also will drop a link into the chat, and then he will also drop, actually, Murph, are we dropping a copy of the slide deck into the chat as well?
We'll have to send them a copy of the slide deck because we
All right.
haven't yet prepared the PDF version.
Okay.
So,
All right. So that'll come to you afterwards as well, and there'll be a link to a box folder. Then lastly, after this event, if you would, there's a short survey, 3 questions, I believe, takes about 30 seconds at the most. If you could just take 30 seconds, complete that, just helps us provide some feedback to the speakers. Murph, Kim, thank you so much for being here, as well as our attendees. We certainly appreciate you being here, and tax season is right around the corner. We hope you are well prepared and have a great tax season. Thanks a lot.
so thanks, Gary. As he mentioned, my special co-host for today is Kim Noh of Noh Hassle Bookkeeping. She was our 2024 top niche practice ProAdvisor. She's an level 2 certified QuickBooks ProAdvisor. She's been in the community for more than 30 years, and I want to welcome her as my co-host for today. Hey, Kim.
Hello there, and thank you so much for the introduction and for allowing me to co-host.
And so, folks, what we're going to do is kind of cover some of the most recent changes to Intuit's training. And I say it as Intuit's training because it involves two sides of their house, as you'll see. So let's look at the learning objectives right quick. By the time you're done, we expect you to be able to enumerate the training time requirements for the new QuickBooks Level 1 and Level 2 certification courses. We expect you to be able to identify at least one testing difference between the prior ProAdvisor certification courses and the new QuickBooks certification courses. We also then think you should be able to list one or more Intuit tax products for which an Intuit Academy tax training badge is badge holder is likely to be qualified, and select one or more Intuit employment opportunities for which the Intuit Academy bookkeeping badge may bolster qualifications. So you see we're talking about two sides of the house, what is the QuickBooks Academy and also the Intuit Academy. And we're doing that because we know our audience is not just QuickBooks Pro advisors, but also includes accountants, bookkeepers, and even tax preparers. So today we'll examine the two sets of new training opportunities for pro advisors, accountants, bookkeepers, and tax preparers. And I'm talking about the recently implemented ProAdvisor Academy, which offers reimagined training courses and certifications for pro advisors, and the Intuit Academy, which provides training in tax, bookkeeping, and get this, QuickBooks sales. Now, while these two Intuit websites have different primary purposes as far at least as Intuit's concerned, the training programs that they offer can benefit the entire QuickBooks community. To some extent, there's an overlap between these two sides of the Intuit house. So let's get started by looking first at the new ProAdvisor Academy. And there are three foundational level certifications that the new Academy is offering. These include Intuit Bookkeeper certification, QuickBooks Online certification, and QuickBooks Online Level 2 certification. Level 1 is what used to be referred to as Core. And then level 2 is what used to be referred to as advanced. So here is our, no, I don't think I'm ready for that. I think I'm out of, yes. Okay. So I was supposed to tell you that level 1 replaces the former QuickBooks Core Pro Advisor training. It is self-paced and approximately 7.5 hours. And level 2 replaces the former QuickBooks Advanced training, and it is 6.5 hours approximately. And then there's also this new bookkeeper certification that's 30 hours in length. And I know Kim has a lot to tell you about that. So we'll get to that in just a moment. And so, Matt, if you'll go ahead and launch our first poll, which is enumerate the training time requirements for the QuickBooks Level 1 and Level 2 ProAdvisor courses. And you have four options, 6.5 hours for both, 6.5 hours for Level 1, 7.5 hours for Level 2, or 7.5 hours for Level 1 and 6.5 for Level 2, or 7.5 hours for both Level 1 and Level 2. Remember, you have to answer at least 3 of the 4 polling questions we have, and actually we're going to have 5 polling questions because of the one Gary gave you, so You still have to answer 3. And we're going to give you just a few more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Matt, if you'll go ahead and show the results. Okay, it appears that almost everyone, 64% of you got it right. 7.5 hours for level 1 and 6.5 hours for level 2. Now, that's basically kind of just the opposite of what it used to be. Level 1 was not as long, or core was not as long as advanced. But anyway, there's been several changes in content that we'll kind of talk about. And so level 1 introduces the essential QuickBooks workflows. There's a big change in emphasis on not just the product, but the product as it's intended to be used in a workflow environment. In this, regular track users work their way through modules and take exams at the end of each stage of level 1. That includes 5 courses. So you take those 5 courses, there's an exam at the end of each one. And while they mention it's open books, that is one of the big differences, because you don't have an exam at the end if you're taking the courses. Now, there's an option to test out, but let me say it again. If you take the courses, you take an exam, which used to be like a quiz at the end of each course. Now it's an exam at the end of each course. If you pass each of those 5 exams at 80% or more, then you've passed and gotten certified. You don't have to take any additional exam. And level 1 will require annual recertification, and we're going to talk about that a little later in our presentation today. And so, it's got a few differences. One of the differences also is that there's a lot more emphasis on providing advisory services, even in the level 1. And so here's what makes up level 1. 5 courses, getting started, banking, expenses and vendors, sales and customers, and period end. And you'll see throughout all of this that it talks about, identifying workflows. It talks about identifying opportunities for advisory related to all of it. It's not a lot of functionally different content. I mean, it's still QuickBooks. And so you're learning QuickBooks. And the emphasis again is on your ability to apply the workflows in order to achieve the proper outcomes, and potentially how you as a ProAdvisor can work with your customer and provide, our client, and provide advisory services. Here, one of the first objectives is to learn, and we're just looking at a couple of these, learn how to manage the vendor list and, do all the kinds of things that you learned before in what was core. And I'm just trying to show you that there's an elaborated set of objectives for each of those various 5 courses.
I love the implementation of tags that are going away in March.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that they don't seem to stay up necessarily with the product, but anyway.
They did advise us that though, when you go to log in, it does tell you that some
Tags
of,
are on their way out the door.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. There's going to be more custom fields to replace tags, and a lot of that has to do with the dimensionality aspects of Intuit Enterprise Suite, because in the advanced program, advanced level product, it's all the same, and so level 2 replaces the former advanced training and certification. It delves into deeper product knowledge, but even more advisory skills. Again, you have the option to actually go through the regular track, which is the various modules, take those and the exams at the end of each stage. Those include custom reporting as well as many of the same areas that we looked at in level 1, banking and sales and customers, expenses and vendors, another enhanced year end that works at a lot of the tools for ProAdvisors, and then custom reporting level 2. Now, it's a misnomer that it says level 2. It's for the level 2 product, but there is no, if you go out and look at all the courses, there's no custom reporting level 1. And that's kind of confusing. But as I said, there's also this option that if you're certified in level 1, which everybody who was core got rolled into level 1, then you can test out. You can just take a test, and if you pass it with 80% or more, then you get level 2 certified even without taking the courses. And so there they are, and I'm not going to go over these, but I am going to look real quick at okay, Q&A. Why is desktop QB no longer included? Well, we're going to show you that desktop is included. It's just on a different tab, and so we'll show you that in a moment. If already advanced certified, do we just have to take the level 2 test to recertify? My understanding is no, there's going to be a new actual recertification test, and we'll talk about recertification and when it begins near the end of today's webinar. And then if you're level 2 certified, will you take both of the level 1 and level 2 to get recertified? And the answer is no. And then you ask an interesting question is, will there still be PDFs? And at the present time, I have heard nothing out of them as to the availability of a support document, a PDF. And so it's interesting how they say it's open book, but you don't have a book to be open. And what is the deadline to achieve certifications? Well, again, you rolled into your whatever you were at. So if you were core, you rolled into level 1. If you were advanced, you rolled into level 2. And that continues the same pattern. Whereas if you were certified in one of those levels prior to November, then this past November, you will have to recertify come the May and June recertification period. If you have obtained level 2, for example, if you were already core, but you've now gone into level 2, you won't have to recertify until the following year. Okay, so with that covered, let's ask you this next polling question. Identify at least one testing difference between the prior pro certification courses and the new certification courses. And the options are each individual course of level 1 and level 2 has an exam. You must pass all exams with 80% to be certified. There is no comprehensive exam at the end of level 1 and level 2. Number 2 is you may test out of level 1 by passing a comprehensive exam. You may test out of level 2 by passing a comprehensive exam with 80% score. However, you must already hold level 1. And all level 1 and 2 exams are proctored exams. They are not open book. Remember, you're selecting the one answer that is not a true statement. And so we'll give you just another moment or two. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you should have selected the answer, and let's see what you all chose. Well, the answer that is not correct is the last one. All level 1 and level 2 exams are proctored. They are not open book. That is the one false statement in the group of answers. Okay. So we told you there's a new bookkeeping certification, and it's part of their foundational courses. It requires 30 hours of time and includes bookkeeping basics, tracking expenses, liability and equity, tracking assets and sales, reconciling accounts, examining financial statements. It requires access to Excel, Google Sheets, or numbers. Unlike the other certification examinations that we just talked about, this one is not open book, and in fact, it has a proctoring mechanism because you are required to load a Chrome extension, and I'm just going to let Kim tell you about it.
Well, let's just say don't have ADHD. If you want to just test out, you don't want to fidget. You don't want your eyes to be looking off the screen. You don't want your hands to be moving. Even if you take the 30 hours and you do it again, it is proctored and it will pop up little messages. I think it gives us like 3 messages and then it just closes the screen. And then you get to have to start all over taking it again. So definitely sit on your hands and keep your eyes straight forward.
I guess it requires you to have a camera.
Yeah.
So it obviously is looking for the fact of, are you trying to find information? And they said that one of the things that it does is it limits your ability to have multiple browser tabs or multiple browsers of the same type or different types open on your computer. So it's trying to keep you from being able to go out and search for answers. And it wouldn't surprise me that they have a limited time per answer in order to try to enforce that as well. But it definitely sounds like it's pretty particular. I definitely am not going to try to take it because I shake so bad. You all notice that I'm almost constantly moving the mouse, even if I don't intend to. So
I think it would be good if they would allow us to at least go to a proctored center, because then those of us that do fidget, the people watching us would be able to see that we're not looking at papers and we don't have anything open on other screens, things of that nature. Because it's very difficult if you are fidgety.
and so Jennifer Johnson asks, is this the certification through Certiport? And Apparently they've made a deal with Certiport as a part of this. So therefore, we believe it to be the same product, but that there's not a fee. And yes, you have to get 80% on all these exams. So I've just opened the specialty tab. Now we were looking at the foundational tab that had bookkeeping level 1 and level 2. And here's the specialty tab, and the payroll certification and desktop certification and enterprise certification are all on this specialty tab. And the payroll certification prepares you to take the payroll examination and deliver payroll services by contextualizing payroll fundamentals from workers and wages to deductions and compliance as you go through the ins and outs of setting up and running QuickBooks Online Payroll. There are 5 courses, once again with an exam at the end. You must pass all of the exams to become certified. The estimated self-paced time is actually 5.5 hours, including the time to take the exams as part of the content. You also have the option, again, to skip the courses and test out via a single comprehensive exam. And so getting started talks about becoming a payroll specialist and what's required, the various kinds of payroll subscriptions. Managing workers is basically setting up and dealing with all the issues of worker documentation, wages and taxes. That's, how you configure the taxes for each employee and dealing with taxes and ensuring that the proper taxes are deducted. Then deductions and contributions, that's relative to other types of taxes, other types of deductions than taxes as well as contributions. So it'd be things like benefits and insurance and retirement plans, et cetera, and tax liabilities and end of period. And that basically is how to ensure that you take care of your monthly tax reporting if you have it, quarterly tax reporting, as well as end of the year. And then the desktop certification, well, it still involves the same 11 courses, each with a quiz. Estimated time is 17 hours. But there is a comprehensive exam at the end of this one, and you must pass with 80%. You have up to 3 attempts, and if you don't pass, then there's a 30-day waiting period. I'm not going to go through all of these various courses because they're the same ones that have been included in desktop, and it no longer expires, and at present there is no recertification requirement for desktop.
And
There's
no
just
credit. You
and
don't get any points.
that is correct. You don't earn any credits for ProAdvisor points with desktop.
Murph, we've been asked if the new payroll certification, is that going to have to be renewed each year?
I'm assuming that payroll is going to be like anything else. They didn't mention that there is no recertification for it. And I don't believe really the content really has changed all that much. I think there were portions of the content that have been covered by a different course that kind of have been gleamed away. It may not be quite as intense as it used to be. And then we have Enterprise, and this again is the same 4 courses that it most frequently had been. It hasn't changed all that much. You have the option to test out. If you must have QuickBooks Desktop in order to take Enterprise. And you can test out, or you can test through 4 courses, again, each with a quiz, just like always, and then a comprehensive exam at the end. Presently, this badge does not expire, and there is no recertification requirement. Okay, so while the ProAdvisor Academy is aimed at QuickBooks Pro Advisors and their certification, the Intuit Academy is focused on educating novices to become tax preparers, bookkeepers, and QuickBooks sales representatives. The site specifies no experience needed. You don't need any prior experience or knowledge to enroll in an Intuit Academy program. In other words, you don't have to be a certified pro advisor. You don't have to have any relationship with Intuit at all to take any of these courses. The Intuit FAQs note that this training can make you eligible to apply for a live expert position with Intuit, and candidates with an Intuit Academy badge stand out in their applications for job opportunities with Intuit. So clearly this is focused on getting people in the door to help with these various live programs, QuickBooks Live and TurboTax Live. There are presently 7 tax-related courses that offer certification. They offer a badge, and these courses and exams are self-paced. And when you pass a course, you earn a particular badge, which they say, once again, makes you more competitive as a job applicant. By the way, Intuit notes in its FAQs that the tax courses will be updated annually in order to always be consistent with current tax law and regulation. There are only 2 opportunities to pass these exams, not 3. And if you fail within the 2 attempts, you must wait 15 days before attempting again. Tax Level 1 is federal individual tax returns. It is an 18-hour self-paced course talking about the boxes on the W-2 and 1099, how to correctly input taxpayer documents into the appropriate tax forms, analyzing a taxpayer's situation to determine their most common deductions and credits, determine if taxes are owed or a refund is due. And it says this course will help qualify you for a TurboTax Live role. A 3-hour online exam follows the completion of the course to earn the Tax Level 1 badge. The badge is valid only for 1 year from the date you pass the exam. Then there's a Level 2 course, and it covers complex income tax situations such as multiple states and foreign income, business income on a Schedule C, analyzing the correct reporting for complex tax, including investments, interest, rental income, and more. Analyzing a taxpayer's situation to determine less common deductions and credits. And as with Tax Level 1 certification, it's only valid for 1 year. There is again a 1.5 hour online exam for this. Tax preparation. And again, it walks you through 13 practice tax exams. Then you take a 2-hour certification exam at the end of the course. And if you're successful, you earn another badge, and you receive a waiver for 2 years of paid tax experience in order to apply for a role with TurboTax Live. Now, there's a business tax, and the difference is that this goes more deeply into actual business tax returns, and it focuses more, even though it will qualify you or help qualify you for a TurboTax Live role, it also will help qualify you for a ProConnect tax position. And so it's geared towards the tax returns that a lot of people are preparing using ProConnect tax, even though TurboTax Business offers essentially the same kind of return tax returns. So list the Intuit tax products which Intuit tax training badge holders are likely to be qualified for. Select only the one best answer from the options given. And this is based on the information on the 3 or 4 tax classes that we've just talked about. Is it TurboTax, Intuit TurboTax Live, ProConnect Tax, either of those two, or none of those two? And let's count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Matt, show us the answer. So either of the above is the correct answer. 53% and a majority got it. Great. All right. And that's not all the tax. They are offering a cryptocurrency tax, a equity compensation tax course, and a tax planning strategies course. The crypto tax is 4.5 hours, 4 hours with an hour and a half long exam. Equity is 2.5 hours with an hour and a half long exam. And tax planning strategies is 4 hours with an hour and a half long exam. And, you know, boy, you get through all of this, you're going to be quite the expert. So you better go over there and get a job. I mean, maybe if you're doing tax yourself, okay, but you ought to get paid for taking all this training. It's a lot of training there. And do you get CPE for the tax classes? You know, that's something they didn't mention at all. I imagine that they very well may give you CPE for them. Are these badges going to be required to keep QBO ProAdvisor? No. None of these badges are required for ProAdvisor. Is this applicable to Canadian advisors as well? None of this covers Canadian tax, so it only covers paying Canadian tax if you're a U.S. taxpayer filing in the U.S., so it's not really related to that. And then they also offer the 30-hour bookkeeper certification. As far as I can tell, it's pretty much exactly the same. And it does have essentially an hour-long certification exam after completion that's proctored. So I think it's essentially the exact same thing. They clearly make out that this is a free class that should cost you $149. And so I think that's where somebody was asking earlier, do we have to pay that fee? And it's not. So either way, you can take it. I think the difference is going to be if you probably take it over here under Intuit Academy, it's not going to get counted like it's going to get counted over under the ProAdvisor Academy. So if you plan on taking it, I'd say take it under the ProAdvisor Academy because I think it'll wind up giving you points. They haven't set that yet, but I think it's going to give you points over there ultimately. And then you'll notice that there are these two sales programs, and they're designed to help you identify customer needs and recommend the appropriate solutions, and in so doing, expand your customer base. Now, it's interesting that this is over here under the Intuit Academy, even though really it's focusing on the QuickBooks ecosystem and everything that's offered. And so, for example, the QuickBooks product class is a 5-hour self-paced course followed by a 2-hour examination. The course strives to improve your knowledge of the entire QuickBooks ecosystem, all the various products and services that are offered. And, it's designed to help you identify, well, my client needs this or that or the other. And so you would think that it would be over under the QuickBooks Academy, but again, they're using this to help identify people who might potentially be good, I think, internal salespeople. And that's why they also have a sales class, a 4.5-hour course with a 2-hour online exam that is intended to boost your skills at selling Intuit solutions. I don't know how many of you have ever heard that radio with the #1 sales trainer in the United States saying that the majority of people who are in sales have never taken a single sales course. Well, here's that opportunity. If you're interested in sales, here's a sales course you can take free and learn all about how to sell Intuit products. So, select the Intuit employment opportunity for which the Intuit Academy bookkeeping badge might bolster your qualifications. And I think we made that fairly clear. So the opportunities are QuickBooks Live, TurboTax Live, both of the above, none of the above. Are the sales courses also flat with minimal video or more interactive like the old style training was? This all this training has been put together by the same group of people, so I believe it's all pretty muchly interactive. You may know that even when they had the live level 1 about 3 weeks ago, or maybe I don't know exactly.
It was 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was really all recorded and had segments that actually came from the modules. So I think that that's going to become more and more common. The people that are working with them advise that that's pretty much the way to standardize and ensure everybody's getting the same training content. And so let's look at the answers, Matt. And both of the above, and that was the correct answer. So, I mean, it's hard to do tax if you don't know anything about bookkeeping. This sales course is great for people who hate working with clients on a regular basis. I hate salespeople. They're always overselling to my clients because the salespeople do not listen to what clients need and to what they are technologically capable of implementing. That's some good commentary there. Okay.
Leslie is known for that.
And so I just yesterday found out that March 25th or 27th, there's going to be a level 2 virtual conference, and it takes 3 days. The program builds on your level 1 certification to improve your product knowledge and your advisory skills. They really like to advise you that they're going to help you build your advisory skills. And becoming level 2 certified, you'll earn 200 additional ProAdvisor points and unlock a new badge for your Find a ProAdvisor profile. You'll stand out to your clients and employers. Plus, the conference is free and you can earn up to 9.5 CPE credits for this 3-day event. And here's how it's spread out. On day 1, they're going to cover sales and customers and expenses and vendors. And on day 2, they're going to cover banking and year end. And then they're going to cover on day 3 custom reporting and exam prep. And you'll notice that's 6 things, but it's slightly different than it is in the self-paced course that starts with a like kind of a welcome back class. This is being presented by Jacqueline and also Carla Caldwell, Astrid, Daniela Galvez, Terrell Turner, and Brittany Brown. And these are the people who are presenting the various segments. And so the next piece of valuable information is Intuit will kick off the annual ProAdvisor recertification on Monday, April 28th, 2025. Now, we've not yet been advised as to the availability of recertification courses and exams for level 1 and level 2, but I think there will definitely be recertification exams available. And it wouldn't surprise me that there'll be a what's new to get ready for recertification for both levels. I've been told that they're working on a lot of other courses that they've kind of had. Kim mentioned the banking, and she'd started that banking badge, and then suddenly it was gone. And so I think as they work on stuff and they get it ready and they intend to move it over to the new platform, it just disappears from the old platform. That's what happened with all the other certifications that we now have under the QuickBooks Academy. So I think it'll be there. We're just a few months away. This doesn't begin this year until April 28th, which basically means May and June for recertification. Kim, you got any comments about that?
The only comment I can honestly say is so far, everybody that I've talked to in regards to the training, remember, we don't have any supplemental guides. So for the first section, Jeff Weathers, congratulations for taking both. He took the first one and he was able to go back and see different slides and go back and take the test for that section. But when he was doing number 2, he was not able to go back. So the only suggestion I can make is make sure you copy and paste or screenshot your slides as you're going, because you definitely, since it's open book, you'd think you'd want to have a book to take it with. So, but I'm anxious to see what this recertification is going to be like. And somebody did ask if we could go back and at this time look at the different training that's in 2 or in 1. And I don't know the answer to that because Jacqueline never got back to me. If we started that, did we have to finish that? before we could do something else, or if we could kind of pop into different modules. Did she answer anything to you in regards?
So, if you go to the courses tab in the QuickBooks Academy, you can start any single course, and I don't think it matters. I think you can even have multiple courses open and in progress, and I think that you have to, though, go through each of those courses and finish them. I'm not sure that there presently is a way for you to go in and out of any one course. Now, I got to thinking you were talking about capturing the various pages with something like Snagit. Uh, I guess you could also use a recording program that would record
True.
record the recording, so you could play it back as you went. Uh, I don't I don't really think I've had a few people tell me that they tested out uh, of level 2 already when they hadn't been able to pass the advanced exam.
Yeah, I've heard
So
that too. I did hear that it was relatively, really strongly focused on advisory, um, and not so much on the what's new. But I think they're focusing more in the know on kind of like what's new. Um, that's just my take.
all right, let's see if we got anybody else. Susan, that would be helpful. Hard to advise your clients on a product you don't know about. Oh, I think she's talking about the sales side
No,
of it.
QB time.
Oh, okay. Uh, yeah. Again, uh, I was told that they are working on a lot of the courses of the past, and it's hard to really recognize the fact that there are so many. And if you look in the foreign list, uh, the number of courses is phenomenal. I mean, we've had like about maybe 20 different kinds of courses all together. The certification courses and the what I would just call CE kind of courses over the years. And in in the foreign market, there's about 60. Uh, they have a lot of monthly courses that they give in all of the foreign markets. So then they're available as recorded and etc. Uh, don't. Okay, January QBTalks. Okay.
You know, Murph, I've heard a few companies in regards to that bookkeeping certification that they do require their employees to take it and also the potential employees to take it. So it's kind of advantageous for them because not only does it provide an opportunity to work for QB Live, but when you're seeking people to work in your practice, it also shows you that they do have the concepts of the debits and the credits and what to do with accruals and kind of the basics of bookkeeping, the accounting principles.
Yeah, I need to send the HOA treasurer uh, through that course because I can't convince him of what a debit is and what a credit is. Why on earth he would have negative debits and in the bank account. Anyway, uh, So I want to thank everybody for being here today. We've met the 50-minute requirement. We've gone through 5 polling questions. Hopefully each of you answered at least 3 so you can earn your CPE. And we provided you with a link to where the download's going to be. So I don't have much else. The bookkeeper training may also be useful when we need to explain concepts to clients. Uh, and debit by the door, credit by the window. Uh, yeah. Uh, and a lot of people saying thank you and they appreciate this class. And so um, we just, there's a lot of content here and it's hard to do much more than just summarize it. But I encourage you to look at both these sites. Again, the QuickBooks ProAdvisor Academy, and then the Intuit Academy. And with that, I will. Somebody said, "Why does the cost for ProAdvisor keep going up?"
That must be on the PAP subscription, and
It's because all the people who have paid ProAdvisor memberships are paying for the cost of supporting all of the people who have free ProAdvisor memberships. It's like taxes, those who pay taxes are supporting those who don't pay it.
that's true. That's a good one.
And so,
Well, I really want to say thank you to Murph and Gary for allowing me to help with today's session. And I got a lot of learning out of it. And it was fun doing a lot of research for Murph. I really did enjoy that.
all right. So, folks, we have another QuickBooks Talk, QBTalks next month, and I'll be here. I'm going to be here all year, and I'll have various co-hosts throughout the year. So I encourage you to attend, and if you're signed up, then you're signed up. You'll get notice. And with that said, I'm going to tell everybody goodbye. And Matt, I'll let you end the broadcast.
Yeah. Thank you guys for joining with us today. And see you to our next session. Bye.